What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of The Dig, a series dedicated to helping you improve profitability on your farm.
Today, we're going to be looking at profitable upgrades to consider when prepping your planter for, drumroll please, Plant 2024. I'm Aaron, and this is Collin.
Let's dig in!
Okay, Collin, if you were going to make one upgrade to your planter, where would it be? Where would you start?
No brainer. I would, without questions asked, start with aftermarket closing wheels. For those of you that have been following PFR for a while may be tired of hearing us talk about them, but they are still one of the easiest upgrades that you can make to your planter to increase profitability.
I agree. When growers ask me for simple upgrades that they can implement that will offer a yield benefit, my response is almost always a set of aftermarket closing wheels. PFR research has proven time and time again that any pair of spiked closing wheels is better than two standard rubber closing wheels. While wheel type will be determined based on your soil type and planting conditions, there are a handful of PFR-proven wheels, including Yetter Poly Twisters, Copperhead Ag Furrow Cruiser, SI Distributing Finger Till, and two other options from Schaffer that would be great options to consider as well. Number two, 2x2x2. All the twos. Just like closing wheels, many of you have heard us talk about 2x2x2 applications for, well, years now probably. But winter maintenance is the perfect time to think about adding this system to your planter.
Maybe you need to replace your gauge wheels. Conceal for Precision Planting uses a split wheel design with a knife in place of your factory wheel. So if you're about to spend a few $100s per row to replace those, our PFR data says you should consider putting that money towards a concealed system instead. Likewise, if you're currently running a 2x2 system that needs new blades or bearings replaced, make a better investment with a 2x2x2 system instead. If you don't like Conceal from Precision Planting, we have other PFR proven 2x2x2 systems that have shown to deliver increased yields as well.
We have identified 3 PFR proven 2x2x2 systems, all of which have over a 6 bushel to the acre multi-year yield advantage over applications applied 2x2.
Number 3, row cleaners. Row cleaners are another great option to prep your planter for 2024. We get a ton of questions from growers about no-till coulters or row cleaners. Questions like, which one is better? Do I need both of them? Do I actually need either of them?
Based on our experience in PFR, you can take that no-till coulter off and just run row cleaners with greater success. If you're in a position where you need to spend some money to maintain your existing no-till coulters, now would be a great time to invest these dollars in row cleaners. And if you're having trouble maintaining depth when planting no-till, having a coulter out front, it's not going to do you any favors. Row cleaners don't require nearly as much downforce and will help move the residue instead of hair painting it down into the furrow.
Another advantage to row cleaners is that they provide a more uniform furrow when it comes to soil moisture and temperature. Utilizing the Yetter 2967 row cleaner, a PFR proven planter attachment, with 25 pounds of down pressure has resulted in the best yield gains. Number 4, hydraulic downforce. Maybe you need to do some work on your current spring or pneumatic downforce system, or maybe they're working perfectly fine. Whatever your case, we encourage you to look at some type of hydraulic downforce system.
Most of our research has been done with Precision Planting's Deltaforce, which is a PFR proven system, but there are other options available. In my opinion, hydraulic downforce is a must-have for your planter. Now, I realize economics and working capital will come into play here, and I'm really good about spending other people's money. I think you would agree with that, right?
Yeah, I agree with that.
It's one of my favorite things to do. But hydraulic downforce is just one of those things that every operation could benefit from. Whether you plant no-till, conventional till, strip till, hydraulic downforce systems do a tremendous job of sensing the field conditions and adapting very quickly.
That's right. When planting a field that has been worked in the spring, you might think you don't need a ton of down pressure, and you might be right. But what if you're applying too much pressure with your springs or airbags? There are plenty of times where we've been planting and noticed the hydraulic downforce actually lifting up the row unit to maintain that target 100 pounds of gauge wheel contact.
On the other side of that, we've seen no-till areas where we've used 300 pounds or more of downforce from the cylinders to maintain proper gauge wheel contact. Now, don't get me wrong, our PFR data on Deltaforce is great, but we tested on relatively uniform plots. When we start thinking about ROI and yield benefits on your farms where we've got a lot more variability, I think Deltaforce and all these other hydraulic downforce systems shine even more. Number 5, high-speed planting.
Last and certainly not least is one of our more costly upgrade consideration, high-speed planter technology. While it is an expensive option, and maybe not for everyone, it's something that we encourage growers to at least consider. You may be surprised to know that increasing your planter speed from 5 mile an hour all the way up to 7.5 mile an hour is a cost-effective way to cover nearly the same ground as adding a second planter to your operation. And while converting your current planter over to a high-speed technology can be costly and fairly labor-intensive, it's still cheaper than purchasing an additional planter, and the finished product and correlating yields are well worth it.
In fact, our corn planter is a John Deere 1760 that is set up with high-speed capabilities. And even though we don't typically plant over 5 mile an hour, we see increased singulation and yields with the precision planting speed tube. Another high-speed planting setup that has been deemed PFR proven is John Deere's ExactEmerge system. Don't get too hung up on which one is better though, because a lot of times when I'm making a recommendation to a grower, I just tell them to choose whichever one they can get the best dealer support from.
Well, that does it for this episode of The Dig. You know, Aaron, I'm starting to get the itch to get out there and go plant, you know?
Here, let me give you a hand. I'll scratch that itch for you.
Why you always gotta make things so weird?
I'm just trying to be helpful and be a friend, you know?
Yeah, well. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that little bell icon to get notifications for future episodes.
And we'll see you next time on
The Dig. I would start, no questions asked, with hydraulic
closing wheels.
Yeah, closing wheels. Yeah. All right.
I'm glad you know the script though. That's good for you.
Yeah. Okay, we're done.
Okay, sound is sounding. Bring the action.
Or maybe, hey, they aren't working perfectly fine. Or hey, they are working perfectly.
I like that though. Look at you ad-libbing. I like it. You know, got that itch thing you're talking about?
Yeah.
I make creams for that, so I'm going to call the old doctor up.
You got an Amazon link for that?
Yeah, I'll send it over to you.
Okay.